But the story of Connecticut, where if anybody's not familiar with the story of the Charter Oak in Connecticut, that's an incredible story where that it was actually when Connecticut was being overrun by the British that they took the state charter and the founding documents and hid it in an oak tree outside of Hartford.
And Hartford, right.
Yeah, and you could actually still see the area where the oak tree stood. And so and that's where when they were running from the British, they stuff it inside the hole inside this tree, and it ended up coming back for it later on after Hartford basically burned. And I think that one thing that we also have to look at is, while these writings were also inspirational, that they also recognize the need for compromise as well. And that's one thing about, especially about the state constitutions that were so seminal in and so moving and so inspirational, that they were based upon compromise, and that it was our own Constitution. And I don't know if we stress that enough when we were talking about the Constitution, but that's something in looking at these things, how really the Constitution in the United States is all compromise. That there was people go back and forth about the Federalists and anti-Federalists, the pro-slavery versus the abolitionists, the the and it was just the loyalists
It goes on and on and on, right.
and on and on and on. And it's one of those things where, in order to hobble together this country, because that's really what it was, there had to be compromise, and people had to be willing. So our Constitution is not perfect, but it's as perfect as it could get, and it's been something that's lasting. And that's why these documents really were so foundational in setting forth the bones of it, but also the compromise in it.
And we've talked about this before, and for those of you who've been watching, you remember,
Mhm.
our country is founded upon debate. And while we roll our eyes in the back of our head when we think about Congress today and how everything is, gridlocked and everyone is just so polarized, there's a reason why we roll our eyes in the back of our head, not because we're exasperated, although we are, but it does a disservice to the intentions that were given by our forefathers and the founding fathers of this country. In order to move along, you have to get along.
Right. Right.
There